Hello, friends. Not gonna lie, it's been a little bit dark around here for a while. It's finally, oh, there's Mateo. He thinks I'm talking to him. Um, yeah, buddy, you're welcome here too. I'm gonna get in my lap probably. So yeah, it's been a little bit dark, which is not a problem. It's just, it's spring cleaning. Everything gets kind of messed up more before things get you air out some nasty smelly stains under the rug, and you know you can pretend they're not there. See how that works out for you. You can pretend there's not like a rotting carcass under the floorboards. you know Actually admitting there's a rotting carcass under your floorboards is generally a pretty good step. And it might, when you uncover that, when you put the floorboards up, oh god, it's going to stink for a while. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. That's just how it kind of goes. Um, and I was already kind of arrived at, the last video talks about it, about you can't even say allowing, because there's nobody to allow it. There's nobody that could disallow it. There's nothing to it. It's just fluid. Lifing, there's nothing to do but explore it, enjoy it, experience it moment by moment, and appreciate the craftsmanship, because it's such an exquisite balance between chaos and order. If it was a little more chaotic, it would just be like, bleh, like no laws of physics, like nothing that interesting, maybe. Just a sort of complete chaotic slog, I guess. Like that experience with I got a lot of butterflies in my yard these days if I'm staring out the window a little bit. Um, my milkweed's finally coming online, and monarch's been hanging out around it. At least two monarchs. I don't know, there might be more, but there's one or two out there every day lately. And of course, loads and loads of swallowtail butterflies. But point is that, yeah, chaos. And if it was too orderly, if it was too simple, if it was just Newton's laws, the end, that wouldn't be nearly as interesting. What do you call Lagrange points with orbits? I didn't even know about that until long after I graduated from physics. Nobody told me. So cool. So many cool things. Never just some answer, never just some perfect map. Endless exploration. That's what it is. Sometimes it's gruesome, and that's allowed too. And then from the gruesomeness, art, poetry, maybe new laws, maybe new takes on morality, maybe books, movies. I mean, you're probably not going to feel, as you're starving to death, you're probably not going to feel like it's worth it, that, oh, some great art's going to come out of this. Maybe some legal reforms are going to come out of it. Maybe a transformation in consciousness. Just want some fucking food. But sometimes this universe does not give you food. And sometimes you starve to death. And that's sad. This one is going to be sad about that. And there's no There's no fix for that. It's an honest feeling. Yet the whole world has a little bit of a dark tinge right now with the creeping, well, not creeping, galloping authoritarianism and broad daylight genocide. It's a rough time to be any kind of human, basically. There's anybody who's triumphalist about genocide, they're not having a very good time either. There's something going on that's not good. There's some pain they're not willing to look at. But it's there anyway. It's festering like a rotting carcass under the floorboards. Well, I was gonna try to make a not dark video and see what happens with intentions or prognostications. Um, but anyway, I was watching Dr. Zubin Damania, ZDogg MD, had a series of 3 very long videos with Dr. Professor Pierce Salguero. He has a kind of a map of all the different threads of awakening: emptiness, unity slash love, psyche slash shadow, and energy slash kundalini, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the 5th thread is regular life. You can't forget that. Well, you can. Good luck with that. I mean, you can try. Um, but the idea is integrate them all and then like drop everything except regular life, because what else is there to do? It's an option to go meditate in a cave for the rest of your life. Some people do that, but probably not the avenue I'm going to take. It's like, but yeah, anyway, going through that like 9 hours or whatever of kind of deconstructing all of spirituality and kind of realizing at the end, what they got to at the end is what I got to in my last video, basically. There's nothing to do but drop the secondary, tertiary, quaternary attempts to, well, attempt, how do you say? You can do things, you can turn the air conditioner up or down, as far as control. You can, um, bullshit around about ontology, how things might be. If that's what you want to do, that can be fun. But the point is, like, by the end of all these spiritual threads, you're not grasping anything. You're not identified with anything. You're not worried about anything. It's like you're not responsible for anything. You can flow like water flowing downhill. And sometimes you're going to hit a rock, you know? Spiritual master can fall down a well, make a fool of yourself, be awkward, be wrong, be mean. It's human stuff. You're apparently showing up as a human. But even when like those things happen, it's like you don't feel any need to like double down. Or maybe sometimes you do, you know? Yeah, I mean, you can say in a way the whole spiritual path is completely pointless. You're just back where you started. But it feels quite different than, 3 or 5 or 10 or 30 years ago. It's not so heavy. I don't need I don't even need to keep doing spiritual practices unless it's just for fun. You know, there's not even trying to fit the universe into a thread is an attempt at control, description, pinning something down. You can't pin anything down. Heisenberg made sure of that. I'm just kidding. I know he didn't create that law or that apparent. Yeah, whatever. Man, lots of black and yellow swallowtails. They're so pretty. I can never completely discount a universe with butterflies. Yeah, I think I'm going to call this video the end of the road because it feels like that in a way. Like, even if I'm not like at the end of the road, I'm always ever at the end of the road. There's always more stuff going to come up. Nobody's ever like purely pristine and you turn into like a light being and, every now and then you get a Jesus or a Buddha who is like a savant at this particular skill, which by the way, or skill, whatever, proclivity, which by the way isn't, there's no, there's no way, there's no criteria, there's no scale, there's no judgment about whether all these spiritual, this stuff is any better or worse than being an athlete or a dancer or a writer or a logger, Logger. I probably don't want to be a beer. Who knows? Maybe that's really fun. Maybe being drunk as like a beer is quite an interesting experience, and I'll never know. I'm thinking of that line from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is like, there's some pun on like, I don't know what it's like to be drunk. I've never been a glass of something. I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, back where I started, childlike in a way, not ever gonna finish, not ever gonna be everyone's cup of tea. But so this proclivity, this, and whether or not you're skilled at it, it's like anything else, really. I tend to think, well, let me put it like this. I don't think I would have been happy doing anything else if I didn't eventually take the spiritual path. It seemed like the thing I needed to do. Other people may not at all. Um, Not interesting, not necessary. Like they're already humaning exactly the way they need to human. I had to overthink it endlessly until I got so miserable overthinking I had to figure out how to overthink even more to figure out how to overthink less. Does that make sense? Doesn't really. But it feels like some critical mass, some threshold has been reached. And of course, I mean, like I said in the other video, it's not about equilibrium. Something's always going to come and perturb, tilt, you know, um, stretch. who knows, maybe there'll be uh, many years of peace and plenty, or everything crashes down tomorrow. I just don't know. And one other thing that, like I think I said in the other video, that I'm really annoyed about is this sense that, like, oh, it's so fleeting, so precious, I have to enjoy it. I have to appreciate it. I have to love it. You know, nah. When I don't force it, then whatever happens, happens. And it's generally more pleasant than feeling pressured to feel a certain way. So it's like joy has a chance to sneak in now if it wants to. Whereas when I was feeling super pressured, it was much more elusive. I can just feel what I feel so freely, whatever it is. There's no judge. Nobody's going to tell me I'm doing it wrong. I mean, if some person does, it's like, okay, your opinion is noted. Put in the shredder. But yeah, it's like in the Tao Te Ching, it's like a stone sinking to the bottom of a pool. You know, it's this freedom in the context of causes, conditions, laws, chaos, indeterminacy. I could do whatever I want. And after college, I instinctively did that so beautifully until the conditioning caught up with me. No, not until the conditioning caught up with me. Conditioning is what it is, but the carcasses under the floorboards caught up to me. I couldn't ignore them anymore. And it was pretty messy airing that shit out for a few years. And then also trying to figure out, what else there was to do. And I feel like ZDogg and Dr. Salguero kind of tied a bow around it. It just like a day after I'd come to a similar place. Quite the quite the synchronicity, but it is almost 9 hours of content. It goes quickly. It's fascinating. I'm gonna link to it in the description. Um, I don't know if it would have landed at all if, you know, a year, 2 year, 3 years ago. So it might not be for everybody right at this time. But it was nice to get that little bit of, solidarity, validation, I guess, even though, I mean, in a way, it is self-validating just to, I mean, what else is there? What authority are you going to look to when it comes to your own experience? But at the same time, I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm way off in left field. Maybe I'm totally alone in this way that I am. So, I mean, I guess that's fine too. Some people are totally alone in the way that they are. Very unique. But I have some compadres who have landed in similar places, and that's kind of nice too. Yep, that's me today.